famous thing. You have a famous ancestor, and so the names are transmitted. So something about that person is about them too, right? and that's how they think about the horses. And the way they talk about it is it's regimental. So it's like
Going good? Yeah, it's going really good.
So that means you want to kick things off.
I was setting it up so I would
It looks like it's time. Yes, good morning. And welcome to 1 Million Cups. Yay! Yeah, so my name's Eric Renz-Whitmore. I'm one of the organizers. All the organizers. Can we get a whoop? Boy, actually, so, hey, we've got other organizers in the group. That's fantastic. I'm sorry, I thought I heard some more whoops out there. That's good. So welcome to 1 Million Cups. Every week, we share the stories of a couple of entrepreneurs, local businesses that are growing. And we, let's see, so they each give a 6-minute pitch, or not a 6-minute pitch. Geez, what am I talking about? They each give a 6-minute talk about what they're doing. And really, it's about sharing the stories of, why they started a business, how they're growing it, some of the challenges they faced, and what they want to do. And then we have a conversation really with you as our audience about, how we can help them grow. Because this really is about, bringing the community together and making things happen. You should know that we are one of 71 cities. I'm going to pump it up. There's 812 people who are thinking that there are 71 cities that are part of 1 Million Cups. It's an event that started with Kaufman Foundation in Kansas City, really as a way of finding out more about the community and bringing those people together. But they found that it caught on, and it's something that we're seeing, not just in Albuquerque, but places like Fargo, other cities that really have this hunger for getting more of an entrepreneurial scene going. So it's something that I think has really made a difference here in Albuquerque. Before we kick off, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'll just throw out there. We like being here at Fat Pipe ABQ. Fat Pipe ABQ rocks. Fantastic. Been a great home to us. We also want to thank Sabio Systems. Sabio Systems over here in the back over here. But basically they've been our coffee sponsor almost since the beginning, it feels like. So we want to thank them for that. Also, yes, exactly. Yes, Sabio System, yes, rocking and rolling. In addition to that, we get some support from Hartford Square. They have reduced price coffee, so it all works out pretty well. We want to thank C&M Stimulus Center for helping with the live stream. Applause for everyone. See, I'm just going to do this applause thing for a good 20 minutes until you're really thinking we've forgotten about you. So Nick Lehman Media, also doing one of the organizers, but helping with all the video work. And folks like, some emergent wave thing, and also Booyah Media. Thank you very much. So, and we'll also thank, So, I've already hemmed and hawed just a little bit too much. One of the things that startups really need, or all companies really need, is to be able to communicate what it is that they do and find new business. So I've had the privilege, I'm one of the tenants here at Fat Pipe ABQ, really love it. And we come into contact with all sorts of other entrepreneurs and see other kinds of businesses that are growing. One of my favorite people and businesses is Sonia Doing. So come on over here and tell us a little bit about what you're doing.
What a lovely introduction. Thank you. So, yes, I'm a writer, and I'm also an instructional designer. I work out of Fat Pipe here, and I'll talk a little bit about Roller Derby Queen a little later. But I started writing when I was 13. I wrote a 150-page novel, and it was awful. Luckily, my writing has gotten a little better since then. And I noticed this in a lot of articles lately and conversations, that one of the things that really led me to be an instructional designer and more of a business writer was taking on those extra projects, through different work entities. Someone would say, hey, we have this special project and we need your help. Would you be interested? And I said, yes. So I ended up getting a lot of experience with business writing through my early years in my career. And, one of my first experiences with a grant was, hey, we have this 1,000-page grant we have to submit to the federal government. Would you be interested in editing and organizing? And so, it was things like that that really got me to this point. And I've been working as a freelance writer and instructional designer for the last 3 years. And kind of on and off. I occasionally get sucked into a full-time job, and I'm like, why am I here? I prefer being a freelancer. So I'm back at it again. And lessons learned, I think that was the first lesson learned, really, was taking on extra projects when you have a chance to do so. And then as a client, I thought it was important to kind of share something. So some of my work is online, not a lot of it, but some of it. And in the last year, I've had 3 clients come back to me because, you know, I bid for a job and they picked the lowest bid, which I can understand. You're trying to save money. And they ended up having to come back to me because the person they hired, they didn't really talk to first beforehand. And they got something written by someone who didn't know English as a first language. So, you know, and now they have to pay me to rewrite it for them. So I just totally suggest, if you're hiring someone online, that you talk to them first, you know, maybe Skype, or check a portfolio, definitely. But most importantly, there's some great writers here in New Mexico. One of the groups I'm a part of is Writer Gals, and they are a group of women here in New Mexico who, you know, if we get too busy, if we have too much work, we know and we trust that we can reference people to these other writers. So it's a great network to find a writer. And then if you're looking to be a writer, I suggest you create a portfolio, get some experience. As a teenager, I worked for a volunteer organization up until I was in my 20s. And that's also where I got a lot of experience in developing training materials, because I got to teach search and rescue and survival and leadership. So definitely get involved with a volunteer group if you can, because that's a great way to get some experience. And not to be left out of, you know, going on to bigger and better things. Obviously, I joined Writer Gals. I work out of Fat Pipe, which is a great networking place, because really at this point, I have plenty of work. So I'm staying busy now. I'm also working with a business partner to create a company to help creative writers, because I'm still also a creative writer. And I'm working madly on a novel, an adventure novel that I've been editing and working with a review group. So I'm hoping to sell that soon. And talking about writers, I talked to a bunch of creative writers recently, and we were talking about the issue, you know, there's not enough opportunity for New Mexico creative writers. So we're looking at creating, well, there's a whole bunch of really great ideas. But one of them is to create a beautiful, curated online journal for only New Mexico writers to submit to. So we're looking at creating that probably in January. And I'm also working with a startup. They hired me to sort of be their voice and create all their instructional material for their online social media site they're creating. And I'm in Albuquerque roller derby, so I try to stay fit. Albuquerque roller derby, we're working on coming here to make a presentation. We started in January, and so we're working very hard to make some business goals so that we can bring really great games to Albuquerque. So right now we're only doing traveling games. We're going to go to El Paso soon and Lubbock, and that's me. I'm author of Pain, and then that's me too. I don't know why I was falling like I was discoing, but yeah. But that's basically me as a writer and derbier. And yeah. So you guys have some questions for me? Thank you. Yes.
So when you're going through your creative process to write, is there a specific time of day, or talk a little bit more about your habits that get you kind of in that creative process?
So number one, this space is a great location for creativity because the sunlight and just the energy in this room feels really great. Sometimes I have to go out in the courtyard for some quiet, like perfectly quiet space, or wear my headphones, or hide in one of the little cubbies that they have. So really, it's just for me finding the right space at the right moment and kind of thinking through what it is that I'm writing. Okay. Yes.
How about in terms of, startup, so when they're picking a person to, represent them and, help with, their writing and branding and story, what advice would you give in terms of, what kind of things they should look for, how to qualify that person as the best?
Okay, so the question is, if you're a startup and you want someone to write in your voice, who do you look for that? And yeah, and that one's kind of difficult because I'm a creative writer and I've written copy for so many different web pages and try to match their voice. I think as long as you find a writer who is creative and I know that's hard to measure a creative person, at least to me it is. But finding someone who's willing to listen too, and then maybe give them a chance to write your voice, a couple times, because at first they may not get it. But if they don't get it, that by that second iteration, maybe it's time to look for someone else who can do that. Yeah. I know the startup I'm working for now, they wanted someone, they wanted a friendly face. So I'm the friendly face. Yes?
Tell me more about, instructional designer.
Oh, okay.
My sister is an instructional designer, and I still don't get exactly what she says.
Okay. Okay. And I forget that a lot of people ask me that question too. What is instructional design? So basically, if someone came to me and said, I need a training class and it needs to be about motivational interviewing and I need it to be 5 hours. So my job is I go out, I research, and I create the plan for the training, the schedule. I create all the materials, the training materials, whether it's a workbook for the participants or a manual for the trainer who's doing the training. So an instructional designer should be able to take the training from the very beginning and also be able, well, some instructional designers aren't comfortable standing in front of groups. So, okay. Positions here, instructional designer with their contract of them, and I was thinking sort of ready. Product. And another example was built Chinese, and then someone trained it without the all kinds of how and 40 hours a week on that. Take break. Create feel like ways for right thought. I think there's some other things that ABQ ID. We'll be talking. I map out. Oh, it's not. So having eye scans too fast and
By TASA, able to mark the